Hello, everyone. This is He from QLC. I hope that everyone's well. Happy New Year to you all. I just wanted to make a quick video about the fact that, it seems that millions more people are going into tier four. And this was partly to curb the New Year's Eve celebrations and partly to make sure that, COVID cases decrease and less people are dying from the disease. Um, I I'm not going to lie, I knew this would happen. Basically, England, or the majority of England, is now in a national lockdown again, as I knew it would happen. I called it again. I'm not happy that I called it. I'm not happy that I'm right. Um, but it is what it is. Like the government are becoming very predictable. As we loosen restrictions, COVID cases increase. As cases increase, restrictions are hardened, and then as restrictions are hardened, most people do as they're told. Some people don't, but people realize that no matter what happens, lockdowns don't work. So COVID cases increase anyway, and then when cases increase anyway, restrictions are hardened even more. More places in England, more places in Great Britain come under a stronger tier, a harder tier. More people uh, lose work, more people have to stay at home. And then as more people stay at home, COVID cases decrease. And as COVID cases decrease, the tier restrictions are loosened, the national lockdown restrictions are loosened, people can go back into work, pubs, restaurants, and and COVID cases increase, and then we're put back into a lockdown or into a strong tier system, and we have to stay at home. Now, what fascinates me is that in a few days or in a few weeks, depending on which part of the country you're in, schools are going to be back open. They're going to be back open on time or delayed by a few weeks. Now, what fascinates me is that we keep having national lockdowns or tier four lockdowns, and they keep putting kids back in school in the classrooms with other snotty nosed kids that don't give a damn about germs. I've said it before and I'll say it again. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. You want to talk about having a blooming national lockdown or a tier four lockdown in the majority of England, which is just another national lockdown. What's the point of calling it tier four? It's just a blooming lockdown. You're not kidding anybody. But what's the point of having this sort of lockdown if you're going to keep the blooming schools open? Put the kids at home, make them learn through Microsoft Teams or Zoom or Google Duo, anything but putting the kids back into school. If you're really desperate about curbing the virus or curbing the increase of the virus, getting a hold of more people, because children do not care about germs. Teachers might get stressed and forget about hygiene and washing their hands with antibacterial gel every 5 seconds. Bacterial gel, I should say antiviral gel, but I'm sure that the gel doesn't actually work with viruses, but we put it on our hands anyway. How are you going to tell uh, millions of school children to keep their mask on? And those disposable masks, they have to be changed every 45 minutes, apparently. And even if they're not the disposable ones, they still have to be washed regularly. How are you going to get kids to keep that stuff clean and to be healthy? And not just kids, even teenagers, even college students, university students, they can forget sometimes. It's a recipe for disaster. And as long as they keep the schools open, the COVID cases are going to increase regardless. So putting us under national lockdown or tier four lockdown is pointless. It's absolutely pointless. Now, what else has happened that will complicate our British economy? We've left a single market now, January the 1st. Hooray. What else has happened? They've decided to delay the second bout of vaccinations. Some people got one vaccination and there's going to be a second bout, something like that. But most people in this country, I guarantee, well, I would think, haven't even got the first vaccination yet. Um, so obviously, if you're talking about the delaying of vaccinations, that means it's going to take longer for the country to recover, so that we can get past this virus nonsense and just go back to a semblance of normalcy where people could go to work, um, go to places of leisure, cinemas, theaters, gyms, pubs, restaurants, because those are the things that improve people's mental health. Believe it or not, socializing with friends and family, going out, eating out, going to the gym, watching a movie to escape from the humdrum life that most people live every single day. people need that to improve their mental health so that they don't, oh, I don't know, lose their minds or get anxious or get depressed and end up going into dark places where they feel like they can't go on. But forget about that. Forget about it. You've got the government saying, oh, we need schools open to improve mental health. No, you don't. You need schools open so that kids can go to school and the schools can make money and so that your children can stay at school while you work. That's why you want the schools open. It's nothing to do with children's mental health. It's because some of these politicians are parents. They want the kids out the way. They don't want kids screaming in their ear. So they want to have schools open. That's why they're doing this. This year, personally, I feel like if I can make a few predictions, I would just say that there's going to be a few further lockdowns. Nothing's going to even remotely seem the way it used to be before this virus stuff happened until possibly June, July 2021, summer 2021. That's when things are going to look a little bit more normal. That way, most people in the country would have been vaccinated. Um, and then once most people are vaccinated, they'll think that things have gone to normal. But I've already read reports or and seen headlines of people dying after they get the blooming vaccine anyway. I've seen reports of people getting allergic reactions to the virus. They've still got a long way to go. But I should be thankful that there's a vaccine. Now, obviously, I've read reports of people not wanting to take the vaccine. They think it's a whole conspiracy. They think that it's a conspiracy because, they'll put something in the vaccine and then they can track your every movement. That's not what the vaccine's for. They've already got technology that they can use to track every movement. The smartphone I'm using right now, they can use that to track my every movement. The NHS app where you have to scan and check into everywhere, they already use that to track every movement you make. The laptops you use, the TV you use, every piece of technology you have, they can somehow use that to track everything you do. They don't need the vaccine to do that. But if it hasn't already, I'm sure the government are going to make it mandatory for everyone to have the vaccine before going into places of work or leisure. And then people have no choice but to take the vaccine. And I'm sure there are a lot of so-called pandemic conspiracy theorists that find it funny that you have to get tested for a vaccine. Sorry, you have to get tested for a virus that is so dangerous that you got to get tested um, to know that you have it. A virus so dangerous that everyone's got to be locked down in their own homes, but it's so dangerous and so awful, you got to be tested to know if you even have it. That's what people are saying. But in my personal opinion, I won't take it that far. I won't be saying that. What I'm saying is that I find it hilarious. Well, not ha ha hilarious, but worrying hilarious that with all these lockdowns that we've had, it's just a yo-yo effect where I've just explained COVID cases increase, we go into another lockdown, and then COVID cases decrease, and then because of that, they think everything's back to normal. They open up everything again, and then COVID cases increase because it's a virus. It doesn't take holidays, and then the cycle repeats itself again. Lockdowns don't seem to be working. We need to be doing something else. So I also predict that because of Brexit and all this lockdown stuff and everything else, we're going to have a recession. Obviously, the recession is basically global, but the recession happening in the UK, it's going to continue until at least 2022. And I also predict that, a lot more people are not going to take the government seriously after um, the next general election. I don't think that the Tories are going to go back into power. I think Keir Starmer might win. At Obviously, they've still got a few years to actually make Labour look like a party that can be reckoned with again after years of the Labour Party embarrassing itself. Trying to get rid of Jeremy Corbyn and calling him an anti-Semite. Like Jeremy Corbyn is a left-leaning SJW. How on earth could they successfully manage to destroy his career by calling him a racist and an anti-Semite when the man's been fighting against racism for decades? And they tried to get rid of him because he's too left, and they they tried to make him look unelectable. They tried to replace him with some Welsh bloke whose name I keep forgetting. Everyone forgets his name, even his constituents. And now they've got Keir Starmer you know, somebody that's more polished, somebody that on the out, like from the outside looks more Blair-like, and from the inside is definitely not as left as Corbyn. So they've got a few years to get themselves together, fire a few idiots, and then they might be able to take over as the leading political party of our country. But that's not going to be until for the next few years. Um, maybe 2024, something like that. But personally, I just feel that, you know, economy is going downhill, and it's partly because of Brexit. It's mostly because of this lockdown stuff. So millions more people are going to lose their jobs. So yeah, I don't know anything else. All I can just say is that it's going to be a very interesting year. And if you think that life's going to be the same or life's going to be much better just because it's a new year, then I think you're wrong. I think it's just we're going to have a very interesting next few months where things are going to be this much worse than they are now. There's going to be a bit more uproar. There's going to be more national lockdowns. People are going to get far more sick and tired of being at home all the time and having job insecurity and financial insecurity, because for a lot of people, furlough pay is not enough to pay the bills. People take, you know, people work overtime, people get different shifts, but they can't now because they're stuck at home. So what are people meant to do? Anyway, that's me for today. You know, this was my January the 1st video. It might not come out until the 2nd, but let's hope I can upload it in time. Please like my content, comment on the video, subscribe, share with other people, and I will see you lot later.